Trust me, I was in your shoes before. I was one of those people that wanted a PlayStation 5, but I wasn't that tapped in to get one. Thankfully, the recent PS5 restock lasted for longer than one day before it sold out. So if you're still looking for a PS5, your day will come, and when it does, you'll hear this. One of the things you're probably wondering is, should you get the PlayStation 5 or wait for the PlayStation 6? Let's talk about that during the unboxing since I had someone ask me that on Instagram. According to reports, it's unlikely that the PlayStation 6 will arrive before 2026. You heard that right, 2026. This PlayStation 5 was released in 2020, but the development started back in 2015. That's a good 5 years from development to release. And if the PlayStation 6 started development in 2021 and follows the same timeline, we can expect to see the PlayStation 6 in 2026. And you better believe it will arrive before the holidays, so expect to see a Q3 release date. In addition, given that the PlayStation 5 is still selling out and PlayStation 5 exclusive games continue to be on the release schedule, you're safe buying and enjoying the PS5 throughout 2023 and let's say 2024 as well. Real quick, let's talk about the PS5 controller design. This is going to sound like a fluff piece, but I'm truly impressed by this controller.
Not paid, not sponsored, because real talk, I'm way too small to work with Sony.
If I'm giving out design awards, I'm giving it to the PS5 controller. The two-tone design with illuminated lights going up each side. The translucent looking buttons. The fact that it has a built-in battery that's chargeable by USB Type-C. It has the integrated speaker that allows us to immediately communicate with friends and a headphone jack. Okay, that's probably annoying, but this is GOAT behavior for a controller. Comparing it to the Xbox Series X controller, the only thing the Xbox controller has over the PS5 controller is the textured pattern on the back of it. Because let's admit, after a few hours of gaming, our hands get a little sweaty. If the PS5 controller had this textured pattern on the back, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. When it comes to controller features, one thing no one tells you is that all games don't support adaptive triggers and haptic feedback. Call of Duty and Fortnite, as well as a list of other games, support both, but later on I'll get into some straight gameplay and explain how the PS5 controller haptic feedback works in that game. Firing this thing up is like a magical moment, huh? You'll first be met with the option to select your preferred language. Next, you'll need to adjust your display. Mine was perfectly displayed, but you can adjust the circles to your liking. For the power mode, I opted to go with the optimized experience so that it will always apply the latest updates. And I'm going to utilize the remote play feature, so if you're like me, select this option. Also, have your Wi-Fi network and password ready. This PS5 has been sitting in a box for quite some time, so system updates are required after you log in. For me, it's always easier to create an account on the PlayStation website, but you can do that here as well at the sign-in screen. By the way, Sony is now asking everyone to turn on two-factor verification at initial startup. I bet they're tired of people losing their accounts left and right, so take the time to set this up. Once you're inside the main menu, the R1 and L1 shoulder buttons allow me to navigate between the games and media sections. In the games menu, I can navigate to the following sections: PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Store, Explore, Game Library, Remote Play, as well as other options. If you're wondering how I brought all these screenshots into this video, just press the PlayStation button on the controller to take a screenshot. These images and videos up to 3 minutes will be stored in our accounts for up to 14 days. And for ease of sharing, download the PlayStation app on your phone and you can easily access and download these images. The system itself responds extremely fast to the buttons I press with no lag, so navigating through the menu is a breeze. If you want to switch some things up visually, you can do things like check out the video output information. I have my resolution set to automatic here, and you can see that the maximum refresh rate is 120 Hz. An update included the addition of 1440p resolution gaming, which is what the community wanted. And as always with storage on any device, this 825GB PS5 means that you aren't getting that full amount. 667GB is available for our use, but there's always the option to expand your storage. Link in the description below. Some would say that the PlayStation Plus is a copy of Xbox Game Pass. In any case, the PlayStation Plus model has 3 tiers in the North American market: Essential, Extra, and Premium. Because I'm not currently interested in cloud streaming or playing PS2, PSP Classic, or PS3 remastered games, I'm paying a yearly subscription for the PlayStation Plus Essential. This graphic is a good comparison of all the plans side by side. Take a moment to pause the video to look at the differences. If you know you want to play games without downloading them, that's what streaming is, and the Essential option will not be for you. While we're on this topic, another thing no one tells you is the PS Plus Deluxe tier is for markets like Latin America that do not have cloud streaming because Sony isn't supporting it there. Now, let's talk about something really interesting. Now that consoles are becoming more available, here are my thoughts on if you should get the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. I'm going to make this swift and to the point and only touch on things that wowed me. The PS5 has 4 times as many exclusives than the Xbox, and the Spider-Man Miles Morales game, wow. I watched the Cypher PK sponsored stream playing Spider-Man from start to finish, and it was beyond amazing. What really makes the PlayStation 5 my hands down must-have device over the Xbox is a DualSense controller. Like, W-Game, oh my god. This controller is a star of the show and will give you an immersive experience based on the games that support the technology. Astro's Playroom comes pre-installed on the console and is one of the games that supports adaptive triggers and haptic feedback. Let's take a look at that. We did good on the timing right there. I know you're probably like, man, will you get your hot breath off the controller? But how about that W-Game? I don't know about you guys, but I thoroughly enjoyed that display of gaming technology. And as I previously said, the button input matches up flawlessly with what I'm seeing on the screen. I know you can't feel what I'm feeling, but there's a lot of vibration and different jolts happening as I press on the controls. And as we enter Astro's Playroom, the game displays a guide on how to use the controls to move Astro around and make him do different moves. For clarity, Astro's Playroom is simply a showcase game for the DualSense controller features. Consider that another thing they don't tell you. That also answers the question of, why does this come pre-installed? Sony wants you to experience the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers right out of the box. Imagine if this game wasn't installed and you downloaded a game that didn't have DualSense support and then went on Twitter to complain about it. Well, that's on you because once again, all games do not support the features. Some support both, one or the other, or none at all. With that being said, I think now is a good opportunity to answer some questions people have like, how do you turn off the PS5? I initially thought I could long press the PlayStation button to bring up the shutdown prompt, but that doesn't appear to be an option. Turning the PS5 off is a complicated process. Press the PlayStation button and once the bottom menu is on the screen, keep going right and choose the Turn PS5 Off option. Next question, is there a DisplayPort on the PS5? Looking back at the beginning of this video, there is no DisplayPort. The PS5 only uses an HDMI 2.1. I can't answer why it doesn't have a DisplayPort, but that's a good segue into the next question. What is the PS5 GPU? It's an AMD Radeon RDNA 2 that goes up to 2.23 GHz. That gives us 4K resolutions, up to 120 FPS, and 120 Hz refresh rate support. I don't know about you guys, but specs like that can last me for a long time. And if you're still one of the people asking how to get a PS5, there was a recent restock where the unbundled console sat in stock for more than a day on PlayStation Direct. Until another restock happens, Make sure you're signed up at Amazon and PlayStation's website so they can contact you if you get selected to buy one. On Twitter, turn on alerts for accounts that tweet out PlayStation 5 restocks, or join a Discord group that has a channel for PS5 restock alerts. Trust me, your day will come, and when it does, you'll hear this.